I've been doing intermittent fasting, which means, well, in my case, it means minimum of 12 hours a day I fast. But that's quite easy for me because I go to bed about 12 and I get up about 11:30. I mean, I wake up about 11 o'clock, but it takes me an hour to wake up. So 12 o'clock, I get up. So by the time I've gotten up out of bed, I've fasted for 12 hours. Now, I've extended the 12 hours to, let's say, 18 hours. So, for example, I'd eat at 6 o'clock. So that means it looks like this. 12 o'clock, I eat my last meal. I wake up at 12, I get up at 12 o'clock, and then I go for a further 6 hours, which would bring me up to 18 hours. And so which leaves 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock to eat. So I have a 6-hour window and 18-hour fast. You know, you might think, well, why are you doing this? Well, you know, there's a lot of talk on the internet about intermittent fasting anyway, and how good it is for the body. Because I have the gallbladder polyps, they are growths, and I don't want those growths to become malignant or cancerous. So it's a method for it's a technique to counter any growths you have in your body, because it stimulates something called autophagy. Autophagy means self-eat. So what happens is, after a certain period of time, well, some people say it doesn't trigger autophagy, you need about 72 hours or whatever. Some people say it does, and the initial phases of autophagy are the strongest. So that's why intermittent fasting can work if you get up to maybe 23 hours. So you fast for 23 hours and you eat that 1 hour, which is called OMAD, 1 meal a day, 1 meal a day. But I found that to be really difficult, because what happens is when you eat that meal, you tend to stuff yourself. Imagine you've gone 23 hours without eating and you stuff yourself because you know, but you have to stuff yourself because you know you have to go another 23 hours without eating. So it's difficult to do. It's difficult to do if you've got digestive problems, as I have. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, I've been doing this intermittent fasting now for how long is it? Maybe a week or so. And you know, what's that got to do with my pain? I think it has something to do with my pain, because the longer, say I go for 12 hours, okay, I sleep for 10 hours or whatever, and by the time I get up, it's 12 hours, so I fast for 12 hours. And I pushed it, so say 14 hours, 16 hours, depending on, you know, when my cravings just get the better of me. So if I eat at, it's easy for me to calculate, if I eat at 4 o'clock, that's 1400 hours, that's 14 hours that I've fasted. If I eat at 6 o'clock, that's 1800 hours, that's 18 hours of fasting. But what I've done is I've extended the period where I have to take my medicine, my Losec. So instead of taking it in the morning, I take it when I break the fast. So it could be 18 hours or 16 hours before I take the acid suppressant medicine. And this gives this leaves too much time for the stomach to be attacked by acid. So this is a problem. And also I've been thinking that intermittent fasting is bad for the gallbladder, because the liver is constantly producing bile and releasing bile. Hello, baby. The liver is constantly producing bile, and the bile trickles into the gallbladder, right? But if you don't eat anything to help trigger the release of the sludge from the gallbladder into the colon, then it starts to concentrate in the gallbladder. So as I was saying, fasting, even intermittent fasting, can be a problem for the gallbladder. You know, if you have gallstones or if you have cholesterolosis, which are, you know, polyps, it could be a problem. Why? Because you have a kind of like a bile stasis situation where the bile, it concentrates, which is not a good thing. So what I thought was, you can eat some foods, I think they're called cholagogue foods, which basically means that there are choleretic and cholagogue. Choleretic foods are foods or herbs that help the you to excrete bile, for bile to be produced in the liver. So the bile trickles into the gallbladder. Okay, but cholagogue foods are foods that help stimulate the gallbladder to squeeze out, you know, to squeeze out the whatever is in the, you know, bile, sludge, cholesterol, whatever. So basically you're cleaning this out, you're emptying this out, you know. So what happens is when you fast, this thing is not being emptied out, and so the liver here is constantly dripping, or, you know, injecting or whatever, putting bile inside this receptacle, and it's concentrate. I assume it's concentrating. So I thought, okay, there's a way around that. In the daytime, whilst I'm fasting, in the fasting period, I can eat cholagogue herbs, cholagogue herbal teas, let's say. Chamomile is not a really strong, it's not a really strong cholagogue herb, but you have nettle, you have barberry, you have different kinds of herbs that you can make into teas that can stimulate the squeezing of the gallbladder, so that any sludge or bile that's in there is being emptied. So I kind of fixed that problem in my mind. But there's another problem. The problem is the one of the stomach. You can't solve that problem too easily. The stomach problem isn't so easy to fix, because there are things that you can eat, like aloe vera or slippery elm, or you can have oatmeal, porridge, but they all stop fasting. They all stop the fasting process. So, what I'm going to be talking about today. Why do I always say so? Cut. What I'm going to be talking about today. Oh, it would help if I said hello. Hello, guys, friends. It doesn't seem natural though. Cut again. Hello. Hello, friends, guys, girls. God. So, I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to talk about... Cut.